We're getting abducted. Hold on. Okay.
Well, folks, what can I say? There's three captains on the boat, and it's just been a hoot. And we're currently sitting on Harvey Bay, and it's been a week of sheer enjoyment, whether it be during the day or even in the evening. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to Andrena. They're in the UK, of course, who's our regular co-host and questionnaire for our show. So we're all sitting back, waiting to get questioned by Andrena, nonetheless.
Questions. Well, good morning, good day. Hello, everybody, and welcome to any new listeners that are tuning in to Dreaming the New Dream. And today it's my pleasure to have the motley crew that are in Harvey Bay. And today is the 8th of September, and tomorrow we have the 9-9 portal that are into their numbers. So anyway, swiftly moving on. I know Cameron, I know Lisa, I know Valerie. I don't know Jill and Marlene. So it's a pleasure to have you all on the show. And part of me is there with you in spirit because I just love whales, dolphins, and I've seen videos that Val's put up and Jeff's put up. So obviously you're all having a magical time, and the whales, it looks like the whales has come from you right from the beginning of you being out on the waters. So have you had to go far to find the whales? Who's going to talk first?
Captain?
Right. Go on, let's start with Valerie.
Now we got the captain here.
Well, can't you sit in the dark?
We're like the bananas. There's C1, C2, C3. If you can see, we've all got the old captain hat.
Have you got any light down there, Cameron? You're a bit in the dark.
I am.
Like a mushroom.
No.
You want to sit next to me then?
Oh yeah, is that better?
No.
You know, he looks like Captain.
Basically,
you want to sit here?
nothing's to be expected, but we see them everywhere. So if you expect to see them, you'll be disappointed, and we're just open to the idea. And like I said, just as we're leaving today, leaving the bay, we said, would have been nice to see one on the way out. And there was a mother and calf just waiting for us. So we've had a lovely experience with whales everywhere, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. So what's been the highlight? Is if there's one thing for you, what has been the highlight?
We had a couple of lovely whale ones where I was sitting on the back step of the yacht, and I could see it coming up towards me, probably 10, 20 feet away.
Wow.
I was hoping it was going to breach, but it didn't. Oh, there, like that. But I could see it coming towards me.
Yeah. Do you want to sit over here? And
Beautiful.
I'll sit with you, Jeffrey.
Yeah. Well, he does that. You can talk to Val in.
Right, okay. So, like Val, this is your first trip. So welcome, Val.
Hey, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's lovely to see you.
Yeah, you too.
So I know how excited you were and are of being on the... So for you, as a total new experience of having a whole week as opposed to a day, share some of the highlights that you've experienced.
Well, for me, it's been really interesting because I only knew Jeff, Lisa and Cameron. Lisa and Cameron I'd only met twice. So we've been with, as 8 of us, and it's been the most exciting experience because we've all got on. We're all like-minded people. And we were all super excited about the whales. I don't think anybody was as excited as Jill, because Jill was almost bouncing off the boat, which I'm sure she'll tell you about that. But it's lovely. We've seen, I think we saw 2 turtles, we saw dolphins, we've seen beautiful breaching of the whales, and I'm like a big kid with anything like that anyway, but it's just been lovely, and we've shared great food, we've shared love. I think that's the most important thing. It's been really, really wonderful. There's the dolphins.
And you've got lots of pictures and lots of videos, and I know Jeff's going to share them as you go along. So it's for people that haven't experienced a trip with the whales. I mean, it's the most amazing, magical experience, heart-opening, isn't it? I mean, it just being in their presence is just, your heart opens so wide. It's something you have to experience.
But you don't realize how enormous these creatures are. They are absolutely huge. And when you see them coming towards you, you think, oh my gosh, they're going to knock the boat over, because they're that big. But it's lovely when you see 3 or 4 of them, going in and out of the water, and they're all side by side. And you can see the babies and the slightly bigger whales. And it's just so, so magical.
What was I going to say? Have you been in the water when they've come close to you?
No.
No? Right, okay.
No, I went in the water once. We haven't been blessed with the best of weather, which is a bit of a shame. But I'm not a strong swimmer, and I went in the water once, and the current was so strong, pulling me backwards, and I thought, oh my gosh. So I was a bit frightened to go in after that. I think if the whales had been there, that would have been even more frightening. But the others were more brave than I was.
Yeah, I think we're coming from England. Our swimming skills are a bit lacking than the Aussie ones.
A bit.
Well, didn't like to say, but yeah, I'm totally with you there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so have you, like on the evening, I know I showed from myself, when they go past and it's all quiet and you're, and it's like, oh my gosh. Again, your heart opens every time. So have you been sat on the evening and you experienced that?
Well, it was funny because today we had the whales, as Cameron said, and we're all sitting there watching one side of the boat, and you hear the whoosh of the blowing going on the other side of the boat. So we all whiz round the other side of the boat to see it going in the water, and then you hear it on the other side, and we were all whizzing round the other side. It's been really fun, really fun.
I know when I did some trips on the Gold Coast, and you were on the bigger boats, and that was the same. So the whales would be at one end, and by the time everybody got up there, I couldn't see a bloody thing being so little. And then I'm running down that end. In the end, I stayed in the middle, but it is fun, and like there's not so many of you running around the boat, so that's much easier.
Yeah. But it's a smaller boat, don't forget.
Yeah. Right. So is there anything else you want to share about your experience?
I just want to say thank you to Lisa and Julie as well for making the most amazing food, preparing like that before we come away, and it's just been really gorgeous. Everything has been gorgeous, and we were saying today that the trip has gone really quickly. But tomorrow we're leaving the boat, we're going home. Some fantastic photographs and memories to take with us. So I've been sending the photographs and the videos over to my grandchildren as well, and they've been taking the photographs to school, which is exciting.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's special.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. Who's doing all the cooking? Are you sharing it, or is taking it in turns, or is there a nominated cook for the whole of the experience?
Mainly Julie and Lisa took up the charge with that, and everyone did all the little extra things, washing up, prepping, and it just works well. Julie's an ex-chef, and Lisa and I have been running events for years, so we're used to cooking for a lot of people. So it works. It works well. Our tummies are constantly full, a little too full sometimes, but that's okay.
And what's the terminology for the toilet? The head's been working hard, let me tell you.
And there are some tricky things with using a marine toilet too. So we've had a couple of mishaps as well.
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah, what's that smell? Anyway, we've had a few challenges which has stretched us, and it's all part of the experience of being on the water. You just don't take things for granted because nothing's the same. You just can't. If you're in a car, you pull up on the side of the road. You just can't pull up and everything's okay here.
And how many loos are there on board?
4.
Was there?
4. This is a pretty snazzy yacht. Every room's got its own ensuite.
So they've gone more at market this time.
Very much so. Very much. It's a very sexy boat. We've got a lovely deck at the back and a deck at the front outside where we can sit and watch depending on the weather or where the sun's shining. It's very, very roomy. Everything from coffee machines to the lot. But it all just makes it that experience, all little bells and whistles makes it just a bit more unique.
It's even got Elon Musk's Starlink satellite system.
Starlink satellite, yeah.
So it's been pretty proactive compared to last year. Yeah. Anyway, there's these 2 ladies there. They're sitting there, and you can ask them.
Okay, let's have a word with Jill and Marlene that I've never spoken to before. Excuse me. So welcome. It's lovely to meet you both. So what part of Australia are you from? Would you like to share?
We've lost your microphone.
How do you mean?
I can't hear Andrena.
Oh, sorry, we couldn't hear you, Andrena. Everything went spinning.
What part of Australia are you from? That's what she asked.
Yeah. Can you share with our listeners where you're from?
We both live Sunshine Coast, but originally I'm from Adelaide.
And originally I'm from Texas and live near Umundy and Noosa.
Yeah, I can hear your American accent.
Yeah.
So is this your very first experience on a whale trip?
It certainly is.
I like how you say that. So have you done a day trip before?
No, I haven't.
Yes, I have, and I've also used to go on the Hierarchy Gulf in New Zealand and Orca over there, and the Dolphins usually, and had I think a whale and a dolphin on a few boat trips. So I've had a few experiences, Andrena, seeing the whale dolphins.
Right. So how have you found this experience? Because did you know of any of the other guys before you came on the trip?
Well, we've known Jeff. Jill's known Jeff for a lot longer. I only knew Jeff recently. And then we met Cameron and Lisa.
I've known Cameron and Lisa.
I only met Cameron and Lisa a few months ago. Yeah. But yes, Jill knows everybody.
No, I just met Val.
Yes.
I met Val.
Yeah.
And I met Julie and Brendan at the last event.
That's right.
But I've known Cameron, Lisa, and been to a few other events than Andrena. But it's been amazing how they've hosted the it really matters if you've got a good captain, and we've got 3 good ones, and they all work together beautifully. And Lisa and Cameron have been just great hosting us, and like they said, with Julie and the food, etc. But the serenity, the tranquility, the excitement of being out here with these majestic, beautiful record keepers, I think, of the whales. Record keepers. So to be that close to them, and I had asked before that they bring us their babies and show us their babies, and they did. So it's just been beautiful. We've got, and their babies have jumped up and played and splashed, and it's been majestic.
Lots of tail flapping and wing waving, and
yeah, lots of waving. And today one turned upside down and just hung with its huge tail out of the water and just stayed like that, upside down with the tail at the tip of the waves. It was interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
Apparently they sleep vertically under the water.
Yeah, I've seen that on previous videos. You know, yeah, it's amazing, eh? So what has been the real highlight for you girls? Or, I mean, obviously there's a combination of all sorts of things, but is there one thing that you would take away with you, a memory of something from the trip?
This morning was very special for me. We came up in a bay and the ocean was literally like glass. And I had the front of the boat to myself. And I just felt very close to the Great Spirit, God, Creator, Source. A real peace and tranquility, and also humbleness and the majesty of all that our creators created for us. And I just felt very grateful. You know, very grateful for the experience, to also have all these great people on board with us, you know, that Val like-minded, and that was a very special moment for me.
And what about you, Marlene?
Well, with me, I just can't get enough of the water. It's such a beautiful blue, and then it goes to turquoise, and I just keep looking at the color of this water, and it's like you can't capture it in a photo. You just get so overawed with it, and it just goes on forever. And it just sitting on the front of the boat and just watching this water is just so amazing. And last night was really lovely. I just sat on the back of the deck and just watched the stars and on the bed. And it was such a peaceful, very similar to what Jill had said. You know, it's really one of those moments where you feel like just a small speck is such a big space of sea, and it's like, wow, it's so humbling, and it just takes you really deep into yourself at the same time. It's just really profound. And I, you know, and also I had a really good feeling when I'd already met Cameron and Lisa and Julie and Brendan, and I said to Jill before we came up here, I said, I have a good feeling we're just going to all get on so well. I said, we're just really, really similar in psyches, and we've just had a lot of laughs. A lot of laughs, fun, a lot of singing, and every conversation will end up in a line that will take us to a song. Today we sang the Australian national anthem, then we went into the.
We're losing the girls there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the questions I was going to ask. Have you been doing lots of singing whilst on the boat?
Yeah. We did a lot of singing to the whales, and there's a lot of
we had the bowl, you know, the
little Tibetan bowl that we would play,
and Brendan played Indian flute, and Julie did the bowl. That was beautiful, you know.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of special moments, and you've asked that question, and I'll have to say, one night at 4 in the morning, I was crawling back in bed, and out my port, the moon was just above the water, and it was just so beautiful. I got up and had to take quite a few pictures of it, and then the stars, just absolutely stunning. Just there's been a lot of special moments.
I bet, yeah. Because sometimes there are, you know, the odd thing that stands out for people, and you know, I know one friend years ago who had cancer, and she'd gone on a whale trip, and the whale literally to come up the side of the boat, and they literally looked eye to eye, and she said it was just like I don't know how to explain it really, but she touched source on so many levels, and that connection, she said, you know, is something you could never buy in the world, all the money in the world, but it's something you experience. But it's like, look at all the stars. So
soul, it's good for your soul. I mean, this is a soul, you know, your soul really opens up, and remember how to relax. Remember.
I was going to say there was a funny experience that Brendan and Julie took the dinghy over to the beach, and while we were watching from the boat, they went off on a walk, and we saw a dingo, and Marlene saw it first. So we saw the dingo, and the dingo was in the boat, in the dinghy, and Marlene was going, "Oh, I hope it doesn't chew anything." And when Julie and Brendan came back, it had chewed the pull tag for the boat, and it had chewed her sandals as well.
For the sake of it.
Oh, good on you, Jeff. Be able to bring that up.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah.
That's amazing, eh?
I think one of the highlights, and I would think everyone agrees, is Jeffrey doing the recording of the whale songs, and we all just sat there in silence listening to these whales. It was just the most amazing experience.
Yeah, and it's healing your heart on many levels, isn't it? It's not, you just don't get a healing from being on the water. Being around the whales as well is such a healing experience.
Listening to their whale songs and all the different pitches of the whales, some high, some really low, and it's like, wow, you wouldn't think it's like an orchestra underwater. It was truly amazing.
Mind you, we had our own orchestra around the table with our singing.
I wondered what you were going to say then.
We've had some fun. We've played
too much
games.
vegetarian food.
Yeah. We were playing and singing, and it was.
We've had a card game. We've had some betting. We've had a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Oh, they even put the Shark Tank in today. We had, what do you call it, a pontoon? To where you can get out.
There's an inflatable pontoon which we blew up and tied to the back of the boat with its own inbuilt netting so that you don't get stung by anything outside of it. Yeah.
Brilliant.
The water's just pristine. It's like the Caribbean. It really is.
Magic.
We did have a shark alert yesterday. We were listening to the other boats, and they said, "Oh, there was a shark in the water," and that made us a little bit timid about going in the water today.
I bet.
So,
yeah. So, did anybody play the Jaws music?
Oh, we've done that this week already.
Did somebody do that? That would be funny.
No, I think
the stingray. Jeff saw the stingray from the beach.
Yeah.
Well, that's look how
lovely and clear the water is.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I think that there is a joy, people go on the big boats. There is a joy of coming on a smaller boat like this. It's a far more intimate experience where we connect on a much more personal level with only 8 people. And that's very much a sink or swim. And we've been swimming very well this week. But also, it's not surprising that we see a lot of people almost cry for the first time when they feel the whales. And I find it very humbling every time I come. And this is my 5th year now. And I sit here and I think there's just so much more to this life than this body that I have, because it's just so overwhelming, isn't it? 100%. It's just, and I think, oh my God, I'm having this experience. How lucky are we?
That's right. And if you haven't experienced it, you've got no idea what an experience it is. Like even going on a day trip, I'd say.
Sorry.
So is that your boat there and somebody coming back on the dinghy, or is that another boat?
No, it's us.
Right.
Yeah.
Cameron, Lisa. No, okay. Yeah, Cameron, Lisa, and Marlene. And I chose to get dropped off at the beach so I could have a swim and do a bit of reconnoiter and have a look around.
Yeah, the colours are brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every time, no matter how many times you go, it's always a heart-opening experience, isn't it? On so many levels.
Well, I definitely think for anybody that's watching, it's one of those bucket list things that you should do. You know, not just a day trip, but come out for more than that. And it's really quite spectacular. But the sunsets and the sunrises have been amazing. 4 o'clock in the morning watching the stars, as somebody else has said, is incredible. But it's just, the colours have been phenomenal.
Of course, it's so clear, like, you know, to see the stars so clearly. It's just amazing. Have you seen any UFOs or any activity on the passing by?
Wish I did.
Well, I will say, Andrena, one night I was up on the boat. I think everybody had gone to bed, and I'm trying to remember. I think it was 11:30, 12. And a light came, a big white light. I thought it was a helicopter with floodlights on. Had no sound. Stayed there. Very big bright light, and turned green and sat there for quite some time. I photographed it. I don't know what it was. No sound. I should have been able to hear it if it was a helicopter.
Yeah. So when you took the photo, did you get an actual picture of it?
Just a light.
Yeah, because, you know, I shared when I was in Glastonbury, probably 6 weeks ago now. On the evening we couldn't sleep, and we went out star watching, and we saw a UFO, like a cigar shaped UFO, go by, and it was so bright, and I mean I was just like, oh my god, you know, it was just, I've never seen one so close and so bright as that. And of course I'm waving, hello, we're here, come and get us, as you do. Anyway, they carried on by, and then Carol videoed it, and all we had was like a ball going here, there, and everywhere. So obviously what we were seeing with our eye here and what was recorded was nothing like it. So I just wondered if you actually got what you saw was in that photo.
It wasn't able to capture it.
And I think that's what
always, you know.
Yeah. It's like, oh well, never mind. But yeah, because you know where you are, it's so clear.
I just even still seeing the footage now get excited. It's just amazing.
Oh, they are so big.
And we had the mother, baby, and whomever, teenage. There were 3 of them at once that went all together of the wells. That was really neat. And then we had 5 dolphins breach at the same time. So that was really cool to see them 5 at a time, 3 at a time, do the same thing. It was like they were performing for us.
Yeah. They're like
very
unison,
social.
aren't they?
They're very social. They know you're there.
And sometimes sitting in the afternoon on the back of the boat, you'd look out onto the horizon and you can actually see them on the horizon jumping out and splashing. You know, it would be such, you go, oh my God, look at they're out there. You know, it's just so far away. But you can still see the amount of water they bring up. And they jump out of the water and breach. It's just, yeah.
Right. Moana's saying, any Johnny Depp's Pirates of the Caribbean pop by?
We wish.
Oh,
yeah, I bet.
Johnny Depp was on board last night.
Actually, it's really funny because Julie did say we were on the beach and we'd gone off on the beach over on the dinghy, and there were about 6 jet skis went by, and I mentioned to her about pirates, and she said, these could be pirates, we just don't know, do we? So her and I got a bit panicked. It was quite funny, actually.
You wish.
Yeah.
They were kind of like ninja stickers, weren't they?
Yeah.
They came in like the seals or something. All, where'd they come from? And then past us.
Very good.
Cameron, so you the dinghy, do you normally take the dinghy? I don't think I've seen that before, have I, on previous trips that you?
No, each yacht's got its own dinghy supplied, so we can go to shore. or of course, but this one had a fabulous, had a big winch set up, and it's hooked at the back of the yacht, and we just press a button and go, and away we go. So it's good morning or evening fun when we're anchored.
Yeah, yeah.
So Marlene, Lisa, and I went for a half an hour. Well, we went for an hour in the dinghy. We travelled half an hour along the shore into up a creek, and then turned around and came back. So it's and look, it's fun when you're sitting close, like a little dodgem car. Away you go.
Oh, it looks lovely. Absolutely beautiful. So have you Jeff got close to the whales, or no? Have the whales come close to you when you've been in the water?
How are you going to phrase that? Are you talking about being in the water swimming, or are you talking about the whales coming close?
Yeah, because I know, there's a ruling in there that you're not meant to go within so many certain distance of the whales, but then the whales, like in previous experiences, the whales have been very close to us, and they don't know that they're not supposed to come to us. So, they've been much closer.
This trip that hasn't happened, but on other trips we have had those experiences. Last year I got up at 8 to do something off the back of the boat, and there was a 40-foot whale sitting there waiting for me. So we have been in the water and they have come up to us, but not this trip. The weather has not been kind. It's been a great trip, but the weather hasn't been kind to us when it comes to swimming this time.
Oh, there was one there that came in underwater, and it came in. That's why I put up the video clip. Just came silently under the water and came in under the port aft, and then popped up the other side. But generally speaking, either one of the three captains, we turn the engines off and we wait for them to come up. Although we do listen to the whale watching boats, they give you a few clues about where they're hanging out and what's going on, and they seem to work together. Those whale watching captains. So generally speaking, they mentioned yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. I think we had the same thing where the whales were just basically diving, weren't they? They're just like the same.
Yeah, they're just avoiding us. Yet other experiences, and again, we've come later in this year, this time, to have a different experience. So early August, mid-August, you've got more of the adults and the teenage ones, which are far more curious. This time we've had a lot of mother and calves, which they come slower. So we've got a lot of mother and calves, and look, I'm talking here, I don't know, but one may assume that they're a bit more protective. So they haven't been as curious as perhaps the teenagers are, but we've had a lot of close encounters in saying that as well. It's just a whole different lovely experience to see little baby ones with their mums.
Yeah, priceless, eh?
Very much so.
And they say side by side, even the dolphins, quite often they are just right by each other, traveling the whole time.
Yeah, I've been looking, because I'm near Bournemouth on the south coast. I don't know if you know UK at all, but since being in Australia, every time I go down the ocean, I'm always scanning to see if I can see a dolphin. Very few and far between over here. There are some places, but I do miss seeing them popping out the water. So I think at some point I'm going to have to head over to Spain or somewhere where there's more action than over here. So probably the water's not quite so warm here.
Oh, it's definitely not so warm.
And God, I've only been in the water probably this year about 8 times, and I think I'm going to have to get one of these wetsuits to get in the water to keep myself, because it's just so cold. I don't know that Wim Hof does his stuff, and I'm not prepared to sit in water like he does. That's just not my way. But, it's overcoming the fear of the cold and getting in, and you're in, but still cold.
What are we looking for here, Shuri? It should be coming up, isn't it? No. Wait, probably not.
So
I've
you
got an issue with the internet a little bit. It keeps cutting out.
Well, I think really, considering where you are, it's brilliant, you know?
Yeah. We should say hello to Moana and Carol as well. So we got one from the UK and one from Australia. So hello, ladies.
Yeah, I saw, I see
and
them.
Karen.
Yeah. So, yeah. So have you taken lots of recordings, Jeff? So are you going to put some out for us to listen to later?
Well, yes. So they got themselves a hydrophone, which is basically an underwater microphone. And I managed to source a guy at Port Macquarie. He used to be in the British Navy, and he makes them. So we're able to get the whole kit and caboodle. So once we threw it under the water and started listening, that's the whole thing, isn't it? That's probably one of the most magnificent aspects of life itself, is that the sea can be quiet, calm. You put the hydrophone under the water, and next second it's
alive.
It's alive. Like at first, you think you've got the screaming cats.
Yes,
that's what they sound like. These whales. There's pictures there. You got the young ones that they got a high pitch, and then you can hear the mother, and then you can hear the males. But
it's a symphony, an underwater symphony.
Yeah, exactly right.
And you hear all the crackling, and you hear all the crackling of the water as well, or the sand moving
it's
underneath.
It's a cacophony of sound.
That's a good word.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic, mate. So
special again, very heart centered, and expanding, and it's just you feel a part of them, I guess.
I think last night had it going in the cabin all night, and I know there's a few occasions there that it was very soft, and then it must have been so close to the boat because the volume just went, and then it just sort of goes up and down as. And I thought, next time I come, I'd get a boom put out, put the microphone down, because once you run the cable alongside the boat, it just hits against the boat when you've got the tidal. So you pick up that. But if you have the boom and drop it down, record it, and have also underwater speakers, and then replay it underwater to see if you can't become a magnet to all the bloody whales coming to you like your big mother.
You might start off a mating, or coming thinking females are around.
I think one thing to keep in mind for some people that don't know, and I'm not talking as an expert here, I'm just talking from what I do know, is why do they come into Hervey Bay? So all these whales are from the Antarctic, and if they were to have their babies down there, the cold would kill the baby because they haven't got enough blubber on their system. So they all migrate up, the whole lot, the families, the uncles and the dads, and they all go up into the warmer waters. They have their babies, they fill themselves up with krill, and they head back south. And this is just a lovely bay. It's probably 40 by 40 kilometres or more. I'm not quite sure. It's a very big bay. And, there could be hundreds and hundreds of whales all come to have a rest for a few days before they go down again. And it's a very interesting concept.
But we're also lucky because you've got Fraser Island, and Fraser Island is huge.
Yeah.
And the coastline all the way along there is just golden sand, and then bush, and there's lots of waterways within the island. So I haven't actually seen them. I saw one, but it is just spectacular, that whole island all the way along.
Yeah, just reading there, Carol's talking about an underwater camera. Have you thought of doing anything like that as well?
Yeah, I had a test run today when I'll put that over there, sorry. I brought a GoPro and sort of I had to play with it this morning, but I should have read the instructions before I come away.
That's for next year.
I brought the drone, never pulled the drone out, even though I did it last time and all that stuff. And now the focus was on the hydrophone and listening to the whales, and that was just
that's the toy of the week.
That's
biggest toy, the boys' toy of the week.
Yeah. Oh no, we got the floating pontoon now.
What about dreams? Have you found that any of you have been experienced really profound dreams because of where you are and the experience that you're having?
Yeah, I can tell you that from last night. Having the whales throughout the whole night, you go and shut your eyes, and next second your whole mindscape is outside the boat, and it's all over the bay, and all you're seeing is all these shadows coming in under the water. So obviously the whales are singing, but they drift up to the surface, and as I drift out to the surface, I was watching Captain here, and I was watching Bell Baby, and I was watching a few other of our boat contingent in the water, and next second the whale comes up underneath them, and then they become the whale rider. So I was watching that.
Like Mother of Dragons, but instead of whales.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Having that beautiful fresh air every day. I just slept like a baby. I slept so deeply. And you just kind of realize how much you just unwind when you're away from a lot of white noise. And it's just you can just feel the space. It's like there's just nothing there except that beautiful ocean and the sky, and it's so calming and peaceful.
Yeah,
it's actually interesting because there's been a lot of four-wheel drives on the island as well, and you're sitting there so peaceful and quiet, and the tranquility, and all of a sudden, go away! You're disturbing my peace. Yeah. You can hear them going along the beach, and then when those jet skis did the same, it was intrusive because we were all enjoying that calm and that peace. So it was quite interesting. You live with that noise all day, every day, but when you haven't got it around you, when it's suddenly there, it's
Yeah. Brilliant.
Okay, so just to give you a heads up here, Cameron and Lisa, they have a facility called Infinite Connections, so they do retreats, and they fell in love with this concept of coming out on the catamaran and spending some time out with the whales, and so doing their retreats up in Number Valley, and then they're just taking it from a land-based operation to a water-based operation. So, so anybody who'd like to put their hand up for next year.
Look, John, what are you doing telling people, Jeff?
Yeah.
I think it's about living. Lisa used that term the other week, and I liked it, about living your best life. And and that's my goal, and my goal is to do that and share it with the people that I love, and so that we can all have these wonderful experiences, because money doesn't buy you happiness, but the beautiful experiences hold, and we can hold on to things that make us sad and angry, or we can hold on to things that lift us and make us feel joyful.
Bring the joy.
So let's have more joyful experiences.
So obviously a lot of people want to do whale trips, and obviously seeing the videos and what a fabulous time, and I if I could go on one tomorrow I'd be gone, but at this moment in time I can't. So but how many, so would you do supply and demand? So if you get, say 30 people, you would do like 3 separate whale trips?
No, we're just going for 2 weeks.
Would you get a much bigger boat to?
No. Just 2 weeks.
Just
eight a week for 2 weeks, and that's it.
Right. So people that want to do it, then they better get in quick. I see Jill and Marlene are already booked.
A friend of mine goes for a month, but after 2 weeks, you got it's a good escape, and then you go back to life, or to the other life.
And if the weather does get trepidous, you can sail back down south, and you can go up to Kingfisher Bay Resort. It's got some protection there, and of course we did that last year. We hopped off and took the rubber ducky into the beach, and then we went to the resort, and we hired a 4-wheel drive, and so It was 4 of us took the 4-wheel drive, and we went all the way up. I got onto the Pacific coastline and drove up to Champagne Pools and had a look around on the beach there and pulled back in Lake Mackenzie. I mean, Lake Mackenzie is just a beautiful freshwater lake with the purest of white sand you'd ever see in your life. And just have a dip after being in the salt water, and then you go in the fresh water. Oh, Fraser Island's really got a lot of things going for it. And there is a negative. If you come on the west coast up to Watumba, man, you got to have mozzie stuff.
Midgies.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Well, we had the NIH study, right?
They come in and attack like nobody's business, I'll tell you.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So it took a while to find a 24 chemist we got off the island, didn't it, to get some
and antihistamines. Oh, bitten so bad. But we got lazy actually. We got complacent. We thought, I'll be right, and we were.
Yeah.
So have you done much fishing?
Nah.
Not our thing.
I tell you what, I have to say, if I find the video clip, the water has been so pristine. You can see the bottom. And I've made the remark to say, I've never seen any fish.
No, we don't.
No.
But a lot of fishermen here, you know, and we do. Last year we saw professional fishermen with big nets, you know, but no, not a lot of fish. Is there?
No, you can see the
But
bottom.
Andrena, even the bottom of the ocean is just sand. Every now and then you'll see a rock, but it's just pristine.
And at night time we've had the torch and hold it in the water to see if there's any fish that might be attracted by the light. Nothing. It's just beautiful, you know, green, perfect, and white sands. It's just divine.
Yeah. I'm sure they hang around. There's rock bommies. Isn't bommies? That's the word. I'm sure in different areas there's all little mini reefs all over the place where they hang around. The other interesting point, Andrena, is basically we're sailing 40 kilometres up and down, and it's all dictated by the weather. So we correspond with the owner of the boat at 8 o'clock every morning and 5 o'clock every afternoon. And I'm a good boy. I ring exactly on time, and we plan our day. And he'll say, well, we've got this type of wind coming. Don't go this way. And then tonight we want you to park over here. So if it's really clear, we can go up to the top end, which is like paradise. And like tonight, when the southerlies are coming, we've tucked ourselves in right in underneath the bottom of Fraser Island so that we can get away from the wind. And then if it's not so bad, we kind of hook ourselves somewhere into a little spot in the middle, and we can be going along. Like the other day, I got a bit lazy, and we put the sail out, and we were doing 8 knots just under the head sail. Beautiful. But suddenly a 25 to 30 kilometre gust come up, and we had to shoot across for an hour to the land, and I got into a little bit of trouble off Lisa because it was rough. But as soon as you come in within 100 metres of the shore, it just goes calm again, doesn't it? Yeah. So it's all being a bit tactical as well, and learning how to read and learning what to do.
You're getting quite experienced, aren't you?
They've done a wonderful job.
They've done a really good job.
And the sailing is beautiful, you know, because there's just no noise, and it's just so peaceful moving across the ocean. You lay on the front, and it's in the sunshine, and it's just you just feel so grateful for having the opportunity to experience it. It really is lovely.
And it's just like a big 45-foot Dodgem car. We can't get into too much issue.
So you haven't had rain, you've just had wind, have you? Have you been through much rain at all?
Nah.
Yeah, vegetarian food creates a lot of wind, Andrew.
A lot more sun and beauty than a little bit of.
We usually get an afternoon squall. Squall, is that the fancy word? So I'm the man with the raincoat, so I jump up the top because there's no cover actually where we are. So I stand in front of the wheel as close as I can, and it only lasts generally half an hour, doesn't it, Jeff? Yeah. So with nearly most afternoons we've had a bit of rain.
Oh, that's lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're all excuse me, coming to the end tomorrow then, and then to get back on land in reality, eh?
Now the end is near.
Well, actually, I think this is reality, really, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
Very awesome.
Jeff, I've got a recording on my phone of the whales. Do you reckon that would come across?
Yeah, go on. There we go.
I'll see if it, because I recorded it from your speaker. I just got to see if that was it. Is that it? No, that was them. That's playing his flute. Sorry, that's him playing his flute.
That was an American. Okay, here.
That's it.
Moana,
It sounds like a lot of clapping and cheering from this end. It's like, whee! Doesn't it? It sounds like a show, like a fireworks show where they'll go, woo, and all excited. And...
They are. It's like they're all having a conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
And how far out does the recording go,
16 Ks, didn't you say, Jeff?
Pardon me?
How far did they record?
Oh, yeah, the hydrophone picks up 16 kilometres underwater.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moana just asked about the seasick. If you go over a bump, if somebody gets seasick, we had a few green moments on that day.
Did you?
Yeah. Cameron got a bit carried away, and we did have a few green moments, but we all survived.
Sorry, Mayor Cooper. But at the end of the day, we've brought two types of tablets. One's a natural one, and one's the other style. I go straight for the double dose. If I think I'm going to be a bit sick, I'll take it early and then shamelessly. But I think most everyone went without tablets, didn't they?
Yeah, it was only the first day, and after the first day, you get your sea legs, so you know how to, then start how to work with the waves and play with the waves, and like even at night when it's that gentle rocking and you're laying in bed and you're just going, it's like, oh, I'm being rocked to sleep. It's so gentle.
Back in the cradle, eh?
Yeah, you feel like you're just floating in this little rocking motion. And so it'll be fun when we hit the land tomorrow.
I think it was my first day. Oh, yeah.
Mind you, we've got about 25 knot winds at about 3 a.m. this morning, so we might get a little bit of a rocking. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, so just generally speaking, anybody who would like to take up on this these journeys and all that stuff, you can organise your own yacht, and you can organise a skipper, or you can have someone like my mate here, Cameron here, and the bare bottom charter. So you charter the boat yourself, and you put your own provisions on board, and then at the end of the trip, you go in and alongside the marina, and you fill up with the water that was put in there before you go, and they fill up with the petrol. It's just diesel, just like renting a car, basically. So
it's not rocket science, really. It's not rocket science, but there are moments where the heart flutters. Don't worry about that. So I've just done a 1 week course, a day skipper's course, and what we did last year, we went for 2 weeks, and I hired a captain, and he stood beside me for the first week and held my hand, and then the second week, he's right. We're right now, but you don't need if you really want to do it. Just look up yacht charters at Harvey Bay, and you can hire a captain that goes with it as well. Because this boat will hold 10 people, but there's only 8 of us on board.
Yeah, so we've chosen not to take 10. It's just overwhelming. Yeah.
And what about sunburn for everybody? How did everybody fare with the weather and the wind? And
good.
I think Jill's a bit fresh-faced. Jill's probably the freshest faced. If you take your glasses off, you can see her glasses where she had her glasses on.
Yeah, because I know that would be a problem for some. The wind and the sunburn. Very nice.
I think the first day was more windburn because it was quite overcast, And we were all quite surprised how pink we were when we came in. At the end of the day, we were just like, oh my God.
I put makeup on. I've tamed my red down. So, to be fair.
Yeah, I haven't.
It's been
really lovely to go away with friends, lovely to go away with new friends and old friends. And like I said, with Jeff, Brendan and I, this is our second or third year together, and it's just comfortable. There's none of the boys kind of competitive stuff. We're working well. We all take turns, and it's easy. It's just easy, Jeff. Yeah.
And that's the key in it, is teamwork. You all work together. You know, you all come from different walks of life, and whatever's going on, you just come together as a team, and you're in the moment of all the joys and blessings that you're experiencing.
Correct. I do have moments of guilty because the joys of Brendan being handy, he's always the Mr. Fix-It. There's always something to be done, isn't there, Jeff? So
cheers to Brendan. He's great.
Yeah.
From fixing the toilet, he is a plumber, to got his head down in the engine, so it's...
Oh, that's a blessing then.
Brendan.
Yeah, so if you hadn't have had him doing that, would you have been in a bit of trouble?
No, I would have just done it.
All right.
It's easy to have I say it's nice to have a man around,
It's called delegation, Cameron. Delegation.
Oh, Brendan.
Hey, Cameron identifies as a captain, so there you go.
Yeah. Aye, Captain.
Apparently you do too. And Brendan, you can.
They all look very smart with their captain hats on.
Captain.
It was a great start.
Come out in the morning.
They have to come back to Earth when they take the caps off.
I'm not taking it off.
No, come last week Friday, we were down in the marina there, and I standing beside the catamaran, and this young woman who was going to come on the show, but she sent me a text this morning so that she overlooked the fact that she was working tonight. Her name's Millie, and she's 26 years old. She's got a skipper's license. She's got a marine engineer's thing, and she's been up here for the last 7 years doing the whale trips. And so she was going to come on and become the whale nerd and let us know.
Would have been very cool.
How many litres of milk they produce, and how long they're up here for, and so that was. She said she's going to meet us down at the dock tomorrow. So there's a great connection there, isn't it? Yeah. And that's what it's all about. You're meeting people, and if you take the time, just introduce yourself and say a few words, and you can go from there. And it's just like you, Andrena. You've been running the show here, and I see Karen said you're an excellent host. So
she is.
There you go. So that's what it's all about, isn't it? Meet and greet, and everybody's got a story. Just got to extrapolate.
Well, that's right. We're all on a journey, and we've all got a story to tell, and some are more vibrant than others. But it's like sharing. We're all helping each other in different ways, energy wise. And now it's all about, we just give each other a hug. You don't have to actually sit healing people. You're just in that energy, and all these things are happening, and it's just supported people. And it's, people only got to reach out, and just say that I'm really struggling, I'm having a hard time, or whatever, rather than, I got all the lambs just coming out now, confirming, but we're all here to help. We're all connected. We are all one, and we all need to work together and care for each other. Like, we've all been separated for different reasons, but it's now the time to say hello. Here we are, and we have to work together as one and support each other, regardless whatever it is. Because we don't know what's going on for people. What is, people look at me and they think, oh, she's doing this and she's traveling there, and but I have my low spots as well, and I go through my. So we all, we're all going through different things, but we're all here to support and help each other and reach out, rather than doing it alone. The time of doing it alone is gone. It's just finding your soul tribe, the earthly ones.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
That's a good
absolute
idea.
magic.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know when my next whale trip would be, but it's out there. It's mapped out at some point that I should be on another whale trip for a week. So who knows? Well, we're
Hey,
gonna.
You'll have to come back next year and meet us here.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
do
definitely.
a birth, and then you can be with us, and we can do it all together.
That would be fun, wouldn't it? Yeah, yeah. So I can be back. I have to be back in Australia March 2024 before my visa runs out. So if I come after, then I'll have to get a tourist visa or something. But if I come back before, then it just overrides everything. So who knows? I mean, you know, a little while ago, I didn't know I was going to be back in the UK, but I kept hearing that song "Coming Home for Driving Home for Christmas" over and over again. And yeah, once I thought I've done a lot of traveling, it's time to connect with family. And since coming back, I've been back, what, 2.5 years. And my God, what a healing journey it's been. You know, you think you've done all the healing, and my God, in comes the next wave, if you like, of different stuff. And but yeah, so it's all a journey. And yeah, I wouldn't change it. Well, I probably might, but anyway. You just got to keep going, haven't you?
Absolutely.
100%. So, I mean, in the old days, people would go away for a holiday, and then they come back, and then they invite all their family and friends and to come over there, and they have the little slides and all that stuff. This is the modern day version of it, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
We just go live on the internet now. You just join us on the trip.
Yeah.
Well, we put that out and see what manifests, eh?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it's been an absolute delight to see all your lovely shiny faces and tanned and glowing and vibrant. So, you know, you've all had a brilliant time. So thank you for sharing all your experiences. It's been really lovely.
Well, lovely to see you, Andrena.
Yeah.
No, it's
Thank
lovely to see you all.
Thank you, Andrena. Yes.
Lovely to meet you and see you.
Yeah. I've heard a lot about you, but now I know. Now I can put a picture to the face.
I hope it's all been good.
Oh, definitely.
With a little mischief, you know, Andrena.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything different.
Well done.
Right.
There's a dinner bell.
Right.
I
No,
wanted to
no.
ask you, how's the weather in the UK right now?
Well, the sun's come out again, but we're having a lot of showers at the minute and thunderstorms yesterday evening, and we went to the New Forest, so we sort of go out and we'd go and see the deer, and we'd get in the car, and then it rained, and then we went somewhere else, got out, saw the horses, got back in, then it rained. So we were very blessed that we were out in the sunshine, but driving in the rain.
And what's the temperature? I see you're in short sleeves, so it's quite warm.
Yeah, no, it's still quite warm. It's quite nice. It's probably about 19
warm for the UK?
Well, yeah. What, you know, when you guys say about about your winter, how cold it is, I think, my God, the you know.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're probably like,
yeah.
You know, it's a lovely hot sunny day today.
Yeah, no, it's probably about 19 degrees, I think, something like that.
That's cold over here. That's winter.
I know, but the nights are drawn in far too quick for my liking. Everything, the seasons are really changing. All the leaves are dropping in some places, and yeah, you know, everything's changing. The energies are changing and moving faster. So, and time is moving faster. So it's like we're on this roller coaster, but I don't know where the stop button is.
Right. Before we go, I'd just like to say hello to all my family, friends in Texas, everyone, New Zealand. Hello, g'day, and howdy.
Okay.
Right. Well, thank you all once again, and it's lovely to see you all and connect with you all, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Cameron,
Bye.
Lisa, Jeff, all of us.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Cameron, Lisa.
All right.
I had to give a kiss to my new fans.